Hello, my name is Chloe and welcome back to another piercing video. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys everything you should expect after getting an ear piercing. Depending on which piercing you get, you can expect different things. After getting a cartilage piercing, it's normal to have a throbbing, painful sensation around where your piercing was done. This will usually last a few hours, and after a couple of days, it's normal to feel a slight throbbing sensation and a weighted, heavy, painful feeling around where the piercing was done. But this all depends on what piercing you get. With my rook, my anti-tragus, my daith, my conch, and my industrial, I had this feeling for quite a while. It just feels like your ear is heavy. That's the only way I can really think to explain it. It's got a throbbing sensation, but it's constant. But everybody's going to experience this very differently. What might hurt for me might not hurt for you, and what might hurt for you might not hurt for me. But after about 2 weeks, if you still have a very constant, painful, throbbing feeling around your piercing, that could be a sign of infection or it could be a sign of rejection. But ear piercings don't often reject, so it's more likely infection. But this isn't something you really need to panic about. When I got my industrial pierced, it took about 5 months for it to heal. And after about 3 months, it got infected. This was at no fault of my own. I was cleaning it and it just happened. So I got a script for antibiotics, which cleared it up nicely. After you clean your piercing, you might still have that throbbing sensation for a little while after, which is completely normal. And especially if you bump it or you catch it with a brush, it'll throb for quite a while. But don't panic, it'll settle down eventually. While your piercing is healing, it's important not to touch it with your fingers. There are a lot of germs on your fingers that you can transmit onto your piercing, which can cause an infection. And this gets me into keloids. Keloids are very common after getting an industrial piercing and getting a piercing done with a gun. If you get your industrial pierced and you notice a bump starting to form around the piercing, don't panic, this is completely normal. The most important thing that you need to know is do not pop it and don't poke at it. This is not a pimple. If you pick at it or you poke it, it'll make it worse. While you're cleaning the piercing, there might be a tiny little bit of pus that comes out. That's normal, don't panic. But if the ear is exceptionally swollen and it's a dark red to a purple color and there is a lot of pus coming out, that means it might be infected. And I would advise that you go to your doctor and get a script for antibiotics. After getting a new piercing, it's important not to clean it any more than twice a day. Cleaning it more than twice a day is over cleaning and getting rid of the natural bacteria that your body needs to heal it by itself. After a few days, your piercing might start to get itchy. Don't panic, this is completely normal. It means that your piercing is starting to heal. But the most important thing that you need to remember is not to scratch it. I know how tempting it is to want to scratch it, but please don't. If you scratch it, there's a very high chance that you could cause an infection. After getting an ear piercing, and specifically a cartilage piercing, it's normal to get headaches or earaches or muscle aches around your neck and your head. But if you've had your piercing for over 2 weeks and you're still getting headaches from it, there could be a chance that your piercing is rejecting or it could be infected. I have my conch pierced 5 times, and when I first got my conch pierced, I started to get really bad headaches, but after a while that stopped. And the second, third, fourth, and fifth one that I got, I didn't get any problems with them after that. After your piercing is healed, you need to remember not to catch it with the brush. While it's still healing, God damn it, it hurts when you catch it with a comb or a brush. And it's easy to forget about your piercing when you're brushing your hair. And it took me a few years to get used to having so many piercings, and now I don't catch it with a brush very often. But when I first started getting a lot of ear piercings, I would catch my ears on my brush a lot. But with some piercings, it's really hard to catch with a brush, such as my conch piercings or my rook piercing. If you'd like me to do a video like this about other sorts of piercings, please let me know. And if you have any questions or concerns or your own advice that you would like to share, please write it in the comments. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next week.